Okay. And we're live.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Community Ketchup 627, Volume 5.
647 volume.
You said, yeah, the 5th edition. Anyway, I am Pooch, a.k.a. Repcord, a.k.a. sometimes Alan. This is my good friend T-Dubs.
Pyro.
Pyro, Travis Womack. We go by many names around here because why not?
Sure, why not?
I'm sorry, Heather.
I'm Heather.
Heather has her own camera today.
Look
at this upgrade. She got a little bit of promotion. We gave her a camera. Hopefully, we don't have to black it out for her doing something inappropriate.
Right?
She might be. She might have ants on something.
Look at what. If you see an ant, it's just an ant. If you see a monster crawling across the camera, it's just an ant. I know. Aquashwan. He's noting your camera.
Everyone's excited about my camera.
Everybody's excited about the Heather camera.
I know, right?
Maybe we need to be the small one.
And I need to be the big one.
Anyway, I was going to say we got a lot of awesome submissions for this week and a lot going on. We're just back from ERRF, and there was so much great community stuff happening there. Community stuff happening all around the world, which has been sent to us, and we're going to go over in short order.
And if you're new to Community Ketchup is a live stream we do every 2 weeks that we use the Community Ketchup hashtag, and anybody who tags stories from around the Twitter community, the Facebook community, 3D printing maker community with Community Ketchup, then we talk about those stories on the stream.
Yeah, that's right. And we are happy to do it. Honestly, it's been an amazing tool just for us to kind of keep our finger on the pulse of what's been going on. I've just enjoyed it immensely. It's done amazing things for just bringing the community together. Not that we need it, just because this is an awesome community to begin with. But it's just escalating the calls. Now, if I could take this moment to have everybody silence their cell phone, please, while we are streaming. That would be fantastic.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
Can we also mention our sponsor for this week?
Absolutely. We are proud to be sponsored this week by
IC3D.
IC3D out of Columbus, Ohio, bringing you the best in filaments and industrial 3D printing applications. We were really lucky.
And definitely Shenanigans.
And Shenanigans. Well,
yes.
Shenanigans does they brought him on to handle their marketing. And
I was just saying they have lots of Shenanigans.
Oh, you just mean Shenanigans.
They just have Shenanigans.
Yeah,
okay, gotcha.
That too.
Oh my gracious.
Anyway, we're very thankful for our sponsor. They've kicked down some filament that we're going to do in the giveaway, so hang around to the end if you want to be a part of that. Actually, if you want to be a part of that, tell them what the rules are for that, so that if you're new to this game, you can get in on the drawing another time. Heather, why don't you give them the detail on that?
So all you have to do is find an awesome, pretty much any maker story that you find or project, anything like that you come across on any social media platform, and use the hashtag CommunityKetchup. I go through and check all of the hashtags on all the social media platforms and collect them all, and that's what we talk about. And then if you utilize the hashtag, you get entered into the drawing. And we have some great sponsors lined up, so make sure you keep using that hashtag.
And we especially love the stories, and at least I do, the stories and the projects that are from makers that might not get seen as much. So we can give them a little bit of spotlight on what's going on and their. Why is my computer locked up?
Yes,
we've been having terrible luck with the interwebs and the computing this last week.
We want to showcase the small makers that are up and coming makers, because everyone knows my Twitter feed is out of control. I cannot keep up on everything. So there's so much cool stuff that's happening in the maker community, and I can't keep track of it. So this is awesome for me. We kind of do this selfishly so we can know about all the cool stuff that's going on.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, like many of the things that we've done together, they've been born of necessity or born of us, being something that we want, and we figure, hey, if we want it, then there's got to be other people out there that probably want it as well.
Exactly.
Welcome to everybody in the chat. We've got a great group together today. How many people are we got in the chat right now? It seems like a ton. I can't even keep track. Will Divine, welcome. Thanks. Glad you made it. Happy Extruder is in the house. Our king of Photoshop. Glad to see you, Ron.
Country 3D.
Country 3D. Country Club. I'm surprised he made it, given he's streaming 24/7, 365. But maybe he's streaming us streaming. Is that happening? Is it a streamception?
Streamception. Yeah. They do that on Twitch, so.
Yeah, that's
Do
true.
they?
We're not advanced enough to do the twitching yet. We do, our idea of Twitch is like really just all the caffeine we drink ahead of the show.
Right.
Yeah, but let's see. Big Ben's in the house. Shenanigans is very happy. We talked about him from IC3D. Glad you're with us. John Mack. Everybody. Oh, look at that. Even Chris is in the house. Did you miss the drawing? No, you didn't win, Chris. Sorry. Come back next time.
Yeah, come back.
Yeah.
Chris, yeah.
Not today. You're not. Walter's not streaming today. He's on a streaming break. I think
he streamed earlier.
I think his camera melted down after all that nonsense from ERRF. Anyway, shall we dive in?
Yes, let's.
All right. What are we starting with today, Heather?
We are starting with our follow-up stories. So the first one we have is Cyber Dustin is showing his progress on his XXL CR10 clone. Yeah,
so for those of you who've been following along at home, many of you, Cyber Dustin, our good friend, has been working on a giant CR10, and he has been nice to keep us apprised of the progress. And I believe he's got it moving.
I think so. That's what I saw, right?
We have motion, ladies and gentlemen. Motion. That's always an exciting step when you get your build going. You in the house, Dustin? Where you at, man?
I don't think he's in here.
He's not in here right now. He could be at work. He tends to work late. But anyway.
But yes, so that's awesome. Check out his printer progress.
Were we gonna take a look?
Are you gonna show it?
Real quick?
We do have a little
First movements.
Let's see.
This is like the birthing of a new baby. It's a very congratulations, Mazel Tov moment. Look at that. He's got a new bumper. Wow. Do we have any audio?
I know.
Well, we see. I saw that Z-axis move. That's promising. Nice job, Dustin. Glad to hear it. We're looking forward to seeing more progress. Hopefully, get a print up and going soon.
That thing is so crazy, giant.
Sweet. That is a big build volume. I think he told us. Did he put what the build volume is on there? Because I just don't remember. But it was a lot by a lot.
Yeah, it's ridiculous by ridiculous.
A little more than a lot.
It's gonna have him hating it for doing it because I'm gonna make him print all kinds of shields. And
I know, right?
Yeah, this is my theory. So it's better than having a big printer is having friends with big printers, because then you just don't have to worry about it. And then
can you print that for me?
The details of tuning, all that.
Let them fix it all.
They can figure it out. It's like boat ownership, right? Yeah.
All right.
Walter, no Inception streaming. Well, we'll do that sometime, buddy. You stream us, we'll stream you, and we'll streamception each other. It'll be great. Moving on, another follow-up. What do we got?
We got David Shorey showing some of his new designs that he had. I think you guys saw these at ERRF.
Oh, yeah.
It was some new spike designs that he was showing off.
Ones? Or these are the ones that look like Ketchup, right?
No, they look like color pencils.
He was doing like kind of a poison-tipped spiky.
Okay.
So anybody that listens to me, Babylon, will know that I'm a big David Shorey fanboy. I love what he's doing. His unique technique around textiles integrated with 3D printing is just super cool. He was at ERRF. We're going to talk more about ERRF
we actually
soon, but we got to spend some good time with him.
Breakfast with David.
Oh, nice.
We did. We had breakfast with David Shorey and got to pick his brain about what's coming up and what's new. But if you're not following him, you definitely should. He also has a Patreon that he just started up, so if you want access to any of these models, I would say that's a very worthwhile contribution to make, because you get access to all his cool stuff. And it goes beyond, by the way, just the stuff that he prints on materials. He's very... I don't know, you remember the piping that he showed us at Barry Maker Fair that controls curvature of stuff? So he is very...
Well, he was showing crazy chains and stuff, other stuff too. It wasn't just all the fabric printing.
And he's constantly innovating new stuff. So I really love following David and his stuff. So we're a big fan. Like we said, we're hoping to have him on here in the near future.
Yes.
Yeah.
Once we actually get our guest set up going.
Yes, once we get our guest
What's happening?
So next on the follow-up, we've got Missouri Rush. She was showing her coloring on prints. So last episode, we had we wanted more info on how she was doing that. And I think this was also shown at ERRF. She was using color pencils. And then Protopasta was also doing some of this using just pens. And then also, too, there was... Pooch, you were talking about Josh showing his coloring on prints. So it's a whole, like, myriad of coloring on PLA prints happening.
Yes, color. So painting or coloring is certainly big. I'm always the one that says, like, I'm a broad strokes maker. I am not a post processor. Pooch does not sand. But the stuff that other people do is just never ceases to amaze me. The amount of detail on this is fantastic. I'll talk about Josh in a bit too when I get to the ERRF segment, because I really enjoyed his technique. But what's your take on this, Trev?
It's great. The color. I never would have thought to use colored pencils on a 3D print. It just is something that never occurred to me. I've always used paints. And,
right.
Yeah.
Because you think it's got to kind of soak in.
Yeah.
And it actually works.
It's awesome. It looks amazing, and like I know that like these are nice colored pencils, and I have used them before on paper, but I just never thought to use them. It wouldn't have occurred to print.
Yeah. So again, it's funny how some of these things come about by an accident or whatever. Somebody's like, I'm just gonna try that and see what it works. So,
and if you want to, all of the links that we are discussing tonight are included in the description of the stream. There were so many that we could not fit them all. So if you want to see the follow-up and the main show information, click on the Google Doc that I linked, and then you can follow along, or you can check it out later. Missouri Russ actually has a video on her coloring on prints, so that might be something to check out later if you're more interested in doing that.
Are we saying that right? Is it Missouri?
How else would you say it?
Is she in the... I don't know. I don't know.
She's not in the chat.
She's not in the chat tonight, so we'll have to verify. So apologies if we're saying your name wrong, but awesome work. And yes, like as Heather says, we're coming kind of fast and furious with a lot of different stuff, so we always try to put it all up. If there's something we touch on, you can refer back to it after the fact.
Because there's so much awesome stuff.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe how many there were this time. So our last follow-up real quick is Matt from Country Cowboy. His 3D printed Ketchup, which you guys have on display right there. Woo!
Yeah.
So he modeled and 3D printed and post-processed the Ketchup.
Post-processed.
Well, whatever. He painted it.
It's better than I would have done. I'll say that. I will say that.
So he did that and brought that to you guys at ERRF. So
this was
really
awesome.
Cool.
Special
shout out to that.
I got to give him an extra special shout out, because if it wasn't for Matt, we were coming from the West Coast and getting all across, and it was not practical for us to like ship out, or cost effective to ship out a bunch of stuff ahead of time. So Matt had his truck and took us to Home Depot, and we got all of our booth stuff situated. So and then he brought all of his tools, and we wouldn't have been able to get set up without him. So thank you, Matt. Really appreciate that, and thank you for this. We love it.
So cute.
I'm thinking this is going to have to be the new updated Ketchup model, so we'll get that on there, and maybe get a little play. We've been a little bit behind, but thankfully we got a couple weeks still before we're going to bust out the Ketchup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Woo!
And for those of you who haven't heard about the Ketchup is going to be the award that we give out quarterly to the best community project that we have reviewed as
Porter,
as determined by us. Because everybody can have a vote, but really there's only two that matter. Well, three.
Wow!
We'll let Ari pick.
Ari will pick two.
Oh, okay. Ari, not me.
Oh, you thought I meant you? Oh, that's embarrassing.
Sad Pink Mafia.
Sad Pink Mafia.
All right. Let's get to the main show.
The meat and potatoes.
Meat and potatoes.
Speaking of meat and potatoes,
we had delicious meat and potatoes.
We had delicious meat and potatoes for dinner. See, I like to talk about the pre-show meal, because that's really what gets you
us amped
up, invigorated. That caffeine, and then all sorts of other things. But all sorts. Yeah, but anyway, we had a very nice pork. Was it a pork tenderloin?
It was pork tenderloin.
It was pork tenderloin. I had mine on a stick. It was delicious.
Oh my gosh, with some roasted potatoes and asparagus.
It was eating like a popsicle.
It was a meatsicle, and it was delicious. Some like really artisanal thin asparagus. I enjoyed it. These two thought it was. They didn't like it, but I liked it. It had a good crunch to it. So. Anyway, props to Heather for cooking us dinner ahead of time. She always takes good care of us. in more ways than one. She produces, she directs, she bosses around.
She's the one who gets all these links together.
That's how I roll.
She does. She's a good collector of links. She is a master of the social medias. Tinkers is in the house. Keith, welcome. Good to have you, buddy.
All right. So what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, I want to talk about Broken Nerd because I want to meet this guy, man. He's
he was supposed to be at ERRF, and then didn't come.
I was so bummed that he didn't make it to ERRF.
Yes.
But Brandon this week, of the many submissions, Brandon gets the MVP award for submitting something like 8 to 10
for sure.
tags this week. Brandon Langdon, but he showed us. He shared Broken Nerd's tweet on the helmets that he's been working on.
Making crazy amounts of the helmets. This is not even. There's like I don't even know how many there is. Like
4 or 5. Like this week that he modeled, and then he's been printing them. This was one he printed and post processed all since the last episode. But
excuse me.
Oh, bless
I'm just gonna click on the Broken Nerd and scroll down a little bit.
Yeah, if you're not aware of the Broken Nerd, I don't know where you've been, but he's actually gotten some really amazing press. He's been on Tested.com. He did a really cool build with Adam Savage. I first learned of him on Uncle Jesse's page because I know he was communicating with Clayton quite a bit on a lot of the cosplay material. He does.
Yeah, he's freaking crazy. So this is like he did the Nova Corps helmet, which is, I believe
that's the one that's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, the Nova Corps is from Guardians of the Galaxy, right? Yeah.
And then the Flash.
The Flash
is one he's printing right now.
We got what is this one?
The guy's
that's
a helmet.
Nova Corps. Yeah.
The guy's a helmet master, and the helmets are not. I feel like this doesn't do justice for the amount of work that goes into a helmet to properly size it. And if you're into cosplay and interested in doing this, you'll realize like it's not always as easy as just pulling the model down off Thingiverse if it's shared or if you have it elsewhere. Because everybody's like Travis has got a giant head,
yeah,
so
pretty much.
So it's got to be
small
sized
ears,
differently. For very small ears, and you don't think about these kind of details all the time. So it's not a one size fits all type thing.
So we got the red hood. We got what is this? Pacific Rim. We got Gazer Beam from The Incredibles 2. Yeah, that's 5 so far.
The thing I think that's the craziest to me, he prints all of these with no supports. Like on the inside of it.
I like that.
Horrible.
Which is crazy to
so
me.
it just like stabs into your head and stuff.
No,
well,
I don't think.
No, I mean he does a lot of finishing, man. He does a lot of finishing.
Yeah, he does.
But I mean that's a talent too, you know, to be able to model that, you know, that it can print with no supports. And frankly, like when you're printing at this scale, you know, it's not trivial the amount of filament that supports you. So
yeah.
So you know, I think that's a nice thing. Now, I have a question. Does it say he's got Power Rangers on there? That's cool.
What?
Or did he just buy this one?
I want to know if he's
talking
about...
repaint. This one's a repaint.
Okay. Yeah, he repainted that one.
Okay, and is he using like plexi or something for like the visors on a lot of these? Like I haven't seen some of the detail.
It might just be
so they're
like,
actually see-through, or if they're more of just a showpiece.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
this one has like you can see right here, it's see-through, so he must be gonna put something on there.
Right. Yeah, anyway, if you're into this kind of thing, definitely follow the Broken Nerd. Also, there's a lot of good detail on Uncle Jesse's page if you want to learn about sizing to fit your giant head.
With small ears.
Or tiny head, if you're like Clayton.
They didn't say anything about small ears, though. I'm sad.
Small ears?
You have small ears.
No, because they just fall down. They like get all like...
They're a little disproportionate.
It's so bad.
Are you having a hard time hearing me right now?
Sometimes.
Okay.
But you...
I'll talk louder.
Really.
Should I talk louder?
No, you should.
No, do not talk louder.
All right.
Okay, next. Let's go next.
Ooh. Paul. The molecular model. So Paul is Paul a teacher?
You guys met him at ERRF, didn't you?
No, I didn't get to meet him. He happened to win our rep box giveaway, but Matt met him. Matt, maybe you can tell us from the chat. I know he shared... Well, let's see. He was the one that shared the tweet, so pull it up.
Yeah.
Ollie shared it.
Printable shared the tweet.
Okay.
Yeah, shared it.
I spent my time getting a printer ready for ERRF. Finally started the process of getting some models together that I use as a biochemistry educator, so I can bring those along. So I'm assuming he's in education.
Yeah, so he models these various molecular structures and then prints them out to use them as visual aids in his classes.
That's an awesome application.
And we're getting... Potent Printables is saying he is a chemistry professor.
Nice.
Oh, and he's here in the chat.
Nice.
Where are you, Paul? We haven't seen you.
Very nice.
Yeah, and he also was working on the Octoprint, the cancel object.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, that's what Matt was talking.
That's what Matt was talking about.
It's basically a plugin in Octoprint where, you know, if you're printing out a whole sheet of you know, Pikachus or whatever you know, you're going to print, because I print a lot of sheets of Pikachus all the time.
Yeah.
So
or Charmanders.
Basically, if one starts to fail, you can actually just cancel that one object, and it will continue printing the other ones.
I need that in my life.
Yeah.
How did I live, you know, almost 40 years without that?
Right? Yeah, he's awesome. A biochemistry
Also,
professor
37 of those
at the University of Maryland.
Oh, go Terps!
Woo woo!
College Park? Wonder what campus. They've got a couple different campuses.
Oh, nice. So yeah, so
awesome, Paul.
Awesome share.
Yeah, Paul's just seems like a cool dude, because even he had the printer that he was had at ERRF was actually made on some water jet system or something, so you could actually smack the print head off of the thing and it would just come right back and stuff. It was crazy. He would have to explain it. I think we should follow up on Paul a little bit.
Oh, maybe.
I think we need to. Paul, we want to be more in touch. We need more info. I'm really sad that I didn't get to meet you and a lot of people actually at ERRF. It's a whole other animal when you're manning a booth.
Yeah.
I mean, plenty of people came to us, but it's hard when
it's hard to see
only so many people that can fit in there and all that stuff. So,
very cool. He said yes, he works at College Park.
College Park. All right. Good
very
trips.
Nice.
Excellent.
All right. So another.
My parents are both alums there.
I'm sorry. Cutting you off.
What were you going to say?
Go ahead.
I was saying another thing that you saw at ERRF was Ben Levine showed his filament tracking app.
Yes, I actually got to talk with Ben quite a bit. Ben's in the chat as well. Welcome, Ben. So we featured him 2 weeks back for the changeable.
Oh yeah.
Print heads.
Yes.
On the Prusa, and he was showing off to me a new app he's working on for tracking your filaments.
Like what you have in your stock, right? So every time you use it, you can update the app, and it'll tell you how much filament you have remaining.
Exactly, and this was just his kind of early stages. He was telling me he was just doing this over the last 3 days before ERRF because he wanted to show it off a little bit. But it's basically like a database of what you have and what you're keeping. And I know he's already mentioned that he's planning to expand on it. So here he's talking about what you have, what the density is, and determining how much you have left over, and then ultimately he wants to add notes on any specifics around how you want to slice it or
I didn't see this, so this is all new to me.
Okay, so Ben, I needed to automatically order me additional filament when I'm gonna run out. That's what I needed to do.
We did talk about that a little bit too, and that's an interesting thing because I've actually had many discussions as for my filament supply on the practicality of that, and it just depends on how much you're printing. For somebody like a Jeff Weed who's actually just cranking
or like
spools,
Spectra 3D or something,
Spectra, or anybody that's doing that. That might be
to where they're
useful.
never running out.
But for somebody like us, where we're constantly changing materials and colors and stuff like that,
it's not as feasible.
It would be. It'd be obnoxious.
I don't know that I've ever run out of a color
stuff.
that I'm like, I need another one of this. I just go to the next spool.
Oh, I definitely have.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd be nervous if I had it automated because I'd just have all these spools of filament just keep showing up when I just took it off the,
I usually paint everything, so it doesn't matter what I'm printing.
Yeah. Well, I don't, so I like color. Van full of puppies. I like this. Country put van full of puppies with his little southern twang in it. It's full of. That's a fact. Oversaw the Pyro design.
Yes, they're basically still razzing you, Pooch, about leaving the booth and leaving Travis there.
Yeah, that's not how it went down, everybody. But I'm appreciating. Yeah, can
Travis
you please set the record straight? I did not abandon you.
No, dude, me and Pooch were like a freaking team there. We were just smacking stuff back and forth, doing. If he was talking to somebody, I was building something. If he was building something, I was talking to somebody. It was pretty awesome, actually.
Let's not jump ahead on ERRF too much, but there were definitely some lessons learned about what it's like manning a booth and how to be prepared ahead of time and what's worth doing and what's not. But anyway, good job on the app, Ben. We definitely want to follow up with you as that progresses. I think that's going to be a useful thing to a lot of people.
Nice. All right, so next we've got Travis shared Art 3, which is Additive Research Technologies, Now, you guys saw this at ERRF as well, right? And got a chance to talk to
Yes.
these guys, and they're in the chat as well.
Did they make it? Yeah.
Yeah. What exactly are they? They're designing and printing maps, I think is what you told me.
You talked to them a little bit more than I did.
I did. I actually spent quite a bit of time with these two, and I'm sorry, I'm like totally forgetting names. It was on here, and I blanked. Chris.
Yeah, Chris is in the chat.
Yeah, Chris and Jacob. So this was super cool. So actually, Travis, I think, came upon him first. And he's like, "You got to talk to these guys."
Well, they came over to our booth and he started talking to me, and I was like, "Oh, this is awesome." So then I was like, "Oh, let's just go over there because there's not anybody at our booth right now." So that was one of the few times
Like
that
one
both
time.
of us went over there.
Yeah, you told me to leave, and then you went back to the booth, and I was there, and I was stoked to talk. And then I get accused of abandoning you. So that's. But anyway, Chris and Jacob are doing some amazing things. They're both blind and wanting to increase awareness and create product around wayfinding for visually impaired individuals.
Yeah.
And so they showed me, they've been working on this for quite a while, and they showed me these phenomenal maps that they had developed, and it's more than just a map. I want to say, like, they're gonna have to chat at me, like, with
I have
specific
some other pictures. I'll like see if I can pull them up, or you could keep talking.
Go really quick too to their Facebook page. There was more pictures on their Facebook page, I think.
I have a couple too that I took really close-ups of that I didn't post. So you keep talking.
So Chris was telling me when I was talking to him that he spent a lot of time in Germany and being exposed to what resources are available for visually impaired there. For wayfinding, and then when he came back here, he wanted to, basically elevate the standard of what's available in the U.S. And we didn't get too much into the differences, but he talked to me about the things that are common right now, like having Braille on maps and stuff like that. That makes big and bulky things that aren't necessarily practical, nor are they completely useful to people that are visually impaired. So they've created these kind of combined tactile maps that he had laid into something like a flip book, where they were 3D printed on acrylic, and you're seeing some pictures right here of it. And so for places like airports and government buildings where they just have all kinds of whack architecture that is not intuitive, for like a common building, where he was showing me the Civic Plaza, the way that it was built above a parking structure, and he's like, where you would expect there to be stairs and stuff like that is just not common for a building. And so it's really helpful to somebody that's visually impaired to have some point of reference.
And this was like almost like a book where you could like flip it up and like check the different floors.
Right, and so you would be able to feel
where
what the layout is, and then they had kind of a key, so it was kind of a combination of the architectural model with kind of a key to give some assistance and context to the person that was trying to walk through this thing. And he mentioned too, they'd approached a couple, I don't remember which airport it was. I want to say it was like Indianapolis or something like that.
I didn't hear that.
But that originally they had been talking with them about doing like a large size one, but it took up way too much space and all this stuff. So they kind of came up with this concept of this flip book. I think they can go with the information desk or something that's more compact, but way more detailed and effective. So they're just kind of getting their start in this technology.
That's cool.
But one of my favorite things about this was, when I had looked at some of the stuff where they'd had, a little bit of Braille for the key, the technique that they used to print Braille in 3D printing,
I remember you talking to me
was
about
really
this.
neat, because it didn't occur to me until I started looking at it. I'm like, wait a minute, these dots are so fine. If you were to do the way that we kind of generally think we're building up layers, like the detail, like the hot end when it's printing that thing, it would kind of like it'd be too it'd be either too big
and like,
or it'd be melted because when you're printing really small,
probably,
exactly. So their technique is that they print it on the Z-axis, so that the Braille is actually like a small overhang, and then you get a nice sharp Braille dot out of that, which is just brilliant in its simplicity.
And they're saying it's poly smooth that they weld to the acrylic. So you think they're running it through like a polisher afterwards? Did it seem like
I didn't hear about
polished?
those details, but I would love to hear
that's
more.
Cool. That's really neat.
More about it. That's an awesome application of Polysmith too, because I mean we've talked about or we've seen it and stuff in the past, but this is actually a really awesome and useful application, and it reminds me of like the Enable crowd, where I really recommended to them because they were saying like, well, we're trying to get more awareness around this. And I said, well, first of all, you got to be on social media, which they just did
added,
this
yes,
week. So good job on that,
Twitter.
guys.
Yeah.
And then you really should start thinking about how you can involve the community more with this project, because I can guarantee you this community is fantastic, and there would be so many people that would be more than happy to help.
Sure.
So you guys make sure you go follow them on Twitter. We'll put their Twitter link in their website, I think.
Yeah. So thank you so much for making me aware of this, guys. Of course, I wish you the best of luck, and I'm happy to support the cause however I can. And we're really excited to see how this progresses, but I think it's going to be big. You guys have a fantastic application here for 3D printing, and I absolutely know you get a little PR together around this. This is something that media would love to latch on to.
These are the kind of things that just make me excited about 3D printing.
Yeah,
and you just like,
so cool.
You think, okay, I've done everything in 3D printing, everything's been done, and then something like this pops up, and you're like, oh yeah, this is so awesome.
Yeah, and they said they're printing it in polysmooth, and then smoothing it as well. And Keith is saying that's the same technique that 3DP Iceland uses for his landscapes, the way he prints the landscapes. So very cool. So I put their Twitter handle in the chat.
Very good. Yeah. So I see you guys in the chat. Thank you for following along. I'm glad I'm glad you're here, and I'm hoping that at some point once we get our guest system and stuff set up, we can actually have you guys on and you can talk a little bit more in detail about it. I think it would be really great. And Jacob, I see you, buddy. I see you're actually you're on Grant's account right now. That's great. Anyway, thanks for following along.
All right.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
All right. So next we have Danska was sharing Arduino Makes tweet. So Arduino Makes is a gentleman. I think he's a younger kid. He's like 11 or 12, and he's doing all kinds of electronics and 3D printing.
He's really young. Yeah.
And we're just want to give a little shout out to his channel. So follow along the things he's making. I didn't get a long chance to check out his channel, but
what's he got going on here? 3D printed monitor.
Wireless monitor display project.
He was doing some
Thomas.
Okay, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Thomas. Today's video, I'll be showing you a quick one.
Wow, how old is he?
He's 11, I think.
In the past few weeks, while my camera set, my SD card had issues, so I can't.
Is he actually?
He has SD card issues too, Pat.
My new upload schedule,
I love to see just kids doing stuff like this anyways. It just always excites me. It's cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like the degree of technicality that they get into is just incredible. Look at that. He's got a nice little professional intro there. Fantastic.
Yeah, so he's got his little channel going on, and we just kind of wanted to give him a little shout out so we could follow along with some of the cool stuff that he's doing.
Yeah, he's way more talented than I am.
Whew, right?
And stuff.
Sorry, Thomas, we didn't have a little bit more time to dive into this, but I look forward to maybe doing a follow up in the future of some of your other projects. It's really awesome to see the young makers out there latch on, and I mean, can only imagine by the time that the things he'll achieve by the time he's our age or even in his teenage years. That's incredible.
Walter's saying that Thomas was following Chris Riley's tutorial in that video that we were just showing.
Oh,
nice.
right on.
Very cool.
Okay. Cool.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right. So next we've got Wellbot shared Alkish Ones created a Wellbot model for him. So I can't remember. I don't think this was during our stream necessarily, but just basically for a community member made a little project while watching. Oh, it was Make It with Calvin's stream.
Okay.
And they were talking about Wellbot and the changes in the protonome. So how we talked about that.
Is it a protonome?
It's not a protonome, but while they were talking about that, he decided I'm going to go ahead and model his little character. So Wellbot has this little robot icon.
I love it, man.
See,
so cute.
I love that too because that's the kind of stuff that I love to do. So
that's so great.
Absolutely. No, that's cool, and it's really neat to see that that people are just motivated out of altruism to do this stuff. So I was
I love that the head is just like hold it up.
I know. They need some support.
So well, I think they said too they were printing it. They started printing it upside down.
I was gonna say if you print it inverted, do you need all the
so
support?
that they didn't have to use as many supports.
That's funny.
so cute.
That's a cool. I like that.
It's
That's
so
a cool
cool.
logo. That's a good little logos to life. Looks like he's got a little. Is that just a paint? I'm having a hard time seeing the angle here. Is it just a paint job on it? It's not.
Yeah, he just did a little bit of painting on it because
Okay.
it's a gray robot anyway.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's awesome.
That's so cute.
That's awesome. So,
Very cool.
Alkish One was talking today about we were talking about, or I saw on Twitter, protognomes, and he was teasing me with wanting to do an American Eagle protonome hybrid, and I said, heck yeah, I want to.
Oh yeah, for 4th of July, right? Very
America.
nice. Very nice, America.
So make it happen, dude. Make it happen,
Oh
Alkish.
jeez.
Feeling a little Alkish.
Oh,
Is it Alkish?
Alkish One, yeah.
We went over this last week, and I still don't
did.
know what it
Yes.
was. It's from Stargate or something. It's the name of a ship.
I think you're
You guys are all nerds.
embarrassing yourself right now.
I don't know.
Let's go to the next
topic. That was right. The Eagle protonome, dude.
Yes,
Do it.
Eagle
Let's
protonome. Okay, next we've got Pokemon Nerd Space shared 3D Maker Noobs community Malta build. So in Joe's new workshop, he has done this Malta. It's a map of Malta, and he cut it all up. He cut it all up. It's like 100 and something pieces. He had over 200 people message him saying they wanted to build or wanted to print a piece.
How big is Malta?
I remember it's pretty small.
The Magic Goo guys talking to me about it. They said you could drive across it like really fast.
Yeah,
like,
it's
a couple hours.
Yeah, a couple hours.
Okay.
So
but he did a big old model of it.
He did it, but yeah, it's
okay.
going to be huge. He's going to hang it on the wall. So it's a community build. He had everyone print all the pieces, or he's having everyone print all the pieces and then ship it to him, and he's going to put it on the wall. But he already has said they've been sharing all kinds of pieces that have been printed already, and yeah, it's just another cool thing that the community is coming together to.
I don't remember hearing about this. Did he talk about this while we were at
ERRF? It was right before and during ERRF was when he sent out the pieces.
Mosaic guys were saying,
they were saying, "Oh, we missed it."
Yeah, we missed it, totally.
They were bummed because he couldn't believe how many people.
Oh man, we got to do a community build.
Oh,
I want to come up with a good community build
catchy?
because people love community builds. I guess we do. I don't know. We'll have to think of something
figure
cool.
something out.
I like a community build though. Good community build.
Very cool. Oh, Alien 3D saying, I got a piece of the Malta.
Hey, all right.
Very nice. Very cool.
There's been, I'm trying to think, so obviously the We the Rosies has been big lately. The, Matt's Friday Night thing, that turned out awesome.
Yes. We're going to talk about that.
I hope we have some pictures because I got some on my phone. I don't know if we transferred them over, but that came out really neat. There's now this Malta thing, and so what's some other big? Tell us in the chat what's some other big community builds that you guys have seen, if any.
They're saying full size benchy.
Full size?
I don't know about that.
But seaworthy. We've talked about this before. I've actually talked to Daniel about that.
Oh man,
because the benchy sea trials would be amazing.
That's a lot.
And I would smash a bottle of champagne, but cheap,
on the side of it.
Cheap champagne.
That would be terrible.
I have seen a video where somebody did make a full size kayak before. So
yes. Oh yes,
did it
I
float?
totally remember that. Yes. Yes.
That's a good build. Send us your favorite community builds, you guys. If you're in the chat and you've seen one, I know Robo has a community build in their San Diego offices of their robot. I don't remember what his name is, and I know there's been a ton of them, but it's always cool to see stuff where the community kind of comes together to build massive stuff.
There was Garrett's Morty.
Oh yeah, 6 Foot Rick.
Not 6 Foot Rick. Not
6 Foot Rick.
Yeah.
That was at Nerf.
Where is 6 Foot Rick?
It's at Printed Solid.
Yeah,
Printed Solid has it.
Yeah, they have it.
That's right. I remember seeing a photo of it in Tinker's just today.
Yes, they just did it. Yeah, because it's there.
Right on.
The chat's saying we should do either a ketchup bottle, a giant piece of bacon.
Joel teased us. Teased? Toast? Teased.
No, teased.
Are you sure it's not toast?
No, I'm sure.
Toast? Joel teased that at Murph that he got funding to do a full-size RC car, and then it was because Kevlar Condom was wanted it to race his Tesla.
Oh, they are
No, I'm
doing.
dead serious.
They are doing electronics for that, though.
So I don't-
Nobody community catch up that, but they are doing. K9 is helping him do electronics for that.
That's great.
This
Right
could
now.
well be in the works, and they're just kind of keeping it hush hush for right now.
Probably.
First of all, if it's really truly an RC car, like, I don't know if anybody knows what they're like, it'll smoke. I mean, a Tesla's no slouch for sure,
Yeah.
but when you're not competing with like actually having a full size thing,
That's
I
insane.
predict the RC version would win. Let's see. Oh, it says here, Country says, Walter says, Sean from IC3D and he are working on one for the Hooch for the table at Murph next year. What deets, man? What is it? What's it gonna be?
Oh yeah, for a community print. That's cool.
Love community. William Devine says bacon. Just
Yeah,
a
they're
big
saying bacon. They
print?
want us to do
Yeah,
bacon. We
Like,
put on top,
the periodic table of bacon.
or what about like a ketchup label?
Bacon's
or
good.
something.
Bacon can never go wrong.
That's awesome.
Let's see. So Paul's saying we could do a community build of his molecular models. That's a good idea. I have no. Yeah, that'll race the Tesla.
He's talking about the one, the RC car that he built at Murph. They are going to race that. That's the one that they're going to race against his Tesla.
Wait, I'm confused. Does Nick have a new account here, or is this a joke account, mock account, van
Yeah,
full
I
of?
was going to say
van
what happened
full of
to
puppies.
the van full of puppies.
Identify yourself.
Is that actually you, Nick?
Full of something?
Oh, they're
Boots,
saying
rifle,
Walter's
helmet.
saying they're doing boots, a rifle, and a helmet 6 feet tall.
Nice.
And
Whoa, cool.
then donating it to the local VFW. Oh, that's cool.
Very.
Oh
cool.
yes, I like Alkish one's
3D Pink
a
Mafia
3D
sign.
Pink Mafia sign.
I still haven't
love
seen
it.
somebody do a full-size Joel bot, and I'm waiting for the day. when
Yeah.
Well,
that's
Neris
what
did the giant Joel bot.
Yeah, but they
you wanna
want
see
like
a
full
see, like,
on
as tall
full
as Joel.
size.
Oh, well, you know, so I could, and it's not, you know,
I'll probably have to do it myself.
yeah. Well,
Nick
so-
says he's bouncing around, so this must be another account of his.
Interesting.
All right.
I think it's because we banned him.
Oh
He's working
no,
his
we
way
don't
around
ban anybody. We don't ban anyone.
Yeah.
All right, so next,
Except Nick.
are you ready?
Yes.
We've got Justin Flugum shared 3D Gloop.
Oh,
this
Gloop.
again was
Did you
at
get to see Gloop
ERRF
at
as
ERRF?
I
well.
didn't see Gloop, but I've heard about Gloop.
Yeah, we
Talk
had people
about-
coming over and talking to us
Talk about Gloop.
Well, pull up the.
What do you know about Gloop?
Yeah.
The Kickstarter.
So it's another adhesion piece. It's a Kickstarter item, but basically they are
Best 3D printing adhesion ever, it says.
Yeah. So the stuff I was talking about at ERRF was their PLA. It's basically stuff that's like designed to bond PLA together, the way that like say acetone bonds ABS together.
Yeah, it looks like they have multiple different.
Yeah, there's a couple different products, and then there was an ABS build, like a build plate stuff, which I think is basically just like ABS goop. But from what I had heard, what are we seeing details wise? Oh, look at this there, mystical cuckoo.
Whoa.
I wonder what mystical glue is supposed to be. The hairspray, getting rid of the hairspray. There's a video of him just getting rid of all the because
It's a magic glue. That's what I thought was hilarious.
no, it's
magical.
mystical glue is what it is. It's not.
Mystical glue.
No, you don't want to get sued.
I thought that was hilarious.
And you know what's funny? It looks like just that rubber cement stuff.
Yeah.
that you
Yeah,
get,
that's
like,
what I got this
in the bottle. You just put a label on rubber cement.
No,
I'm
I
pretty
don't
sure it's
know
more than
about
that.
glue, so I don't want
I
to
did
like
not get a
badmouth
chance.
It
them
seems
or
like it's
whatever.
melting PLA together that I don't know if
That
that's
sounds
very like.
That sounds gnarly. They were doing a thing where they were doing a tug of war at ERRF,
Yeah.
where they had basically like glued two pieces of PLA together and they like couldn't break them apart. I'd heard it was pretty chemically, but I hadn't experienced it myself, so I'm intrigued.
Oh, so Mitch is saying that he's a third of the way done with full-size JoelBot, and he's contemplating using Gloop to put together the full-size
Nice.
JoelBot.
So we have two things in there.
He says it's taking him longer because he can't non-stop print, so it's taking him longer on
Just
that.
print it on your backpack as you're walking
Yeah,
around.
right? Jeez.
Mitch is gonna have back problems, man.
Yeah.
Schlepping that thing around.
Chris wants to know what the ABV of Gloop is.
The ABV at least 17, buddy. At least
Oh, okay.
17.
And Paul is saying they use methylene chloride
So Paul, you're like a chemistry guy. Like,
Yeah,
does that
so
actually?
this is
How much
safe,
cancer will that actually give us, Paul?
Yeah.
We're scared of this stuff. So from what I saw on the Kickstarter and saw on their stuff is there's different formulas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I saw is there's different formulas that you use for, like, if you're using it on a bed adhesion for ABS,
Right.
versus the stuff that you use to glue PLA together. And then there was one other formula as well. I can't remember what exactly it was for, but they were showing like videos of people trying to pull it apart, playing like tug of war and all that stuff. It seemed pretty crazy. I think if you really, really needed something stuck together, epoxy is pretty gross. Travis uses epoxy, and it's pretty gnarly, so I don't get...
Yeah. We've lost quite a few brain cells to the epoxy.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know how bad it may or may not be, but...
Well, it's interesting because it's like, I don't doubt that there's chemicals that could do all kinds of amazing things, but at what cost? Is always the question.
Yeah,
so
make sure it's
I'm not
well-vented.
trying to be a judge or a skeptic. I haven't tried it. I haven't seen it. I would hope that it's been tested to be safe. It's only just a little bit of cancer.
A little bit of cancer.
Yeah. Actually, mostly you just use chloroform, but I have a fume hood. Yeah, not most of them have.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just a little bit of cancer.
They said that it's a proprietary ingredient. They are using methylene chloride, but in a small amount. There's one for PLA, one for ABS, and one for PET-G in development. Oh man. Okay. Anyway, I thought it was cool. I thought it was.
But it is interesting. And look, not to, like I said, I haven't met
I don't
any
want
of
to
the
knock
people
it,
at Group, and I don't mean to knock it, but it does bring up a really interesting point around safety, because I don't know what regulation, if any, there is to developing a chemical like this, and then what, is there an FDA equivalent for solvents, or do you just have to
it's hard too,
throw the warning on it?
We're getting all these new technologies, like even like think about like the Moai and like all these
resins. And,
how
much it
all
smells.
These people bringing laser cutters into
Ooh.
their houses and like just they're cutting like random stuff. Who knows what's that's releasing? It's like you gotta be careful.
And you get warnings around certain things like do not laser cut PVC and stuff. But I can't imagine that like there's other. We've cut a lot of acrylic, and that stuff smells nasty. So I'm like, that can't be good for you.
So bad.
It can't be good for you.
But I know somebody was telling me they were. I think it was. Who's the guy that cuts leather all the time? Why am I forgetting his name right now?
3D Reaper?
3D Reaper, yeah. Okay, he was saying that he got some fake leather. And somebody was saying that. It might not have been him.
I think it was him and Amy.
And it was
Amy
like super
trying to cut it on her muse.
Super toxic, but
and
they thought it was real.
She couldn't believe how much it caught fire and melted. Yeah,
because that's like got vinyl in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
gross.
No good. No bueno.
Gross.
So the lesson is just to be careful and make sure try to look at what you're doing. Wear a mask if you can.
Yeah, and I don't think it ever hurts to wear a respirator if you have one of those, at least the P100, if not heavier duty. Certainly more than just your standard N95 dust mask. I think some of this stuff is pretty gnarly, and it's probably undetermined how bad it is, and may not be determined for a while. But I don't know, Paul, if you have any... methylene chloride melts PLA and PET-G. I'm sure it does, but will it kill you? Paul,
in excessive amounts,
will it kill you in excessive amounts? I don't. Any killing me is an excessive amount.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I love having all these smart people in the chat that can.
I know, it's
we really
amazing.
need some scientists, like real scientists, not like a pseudo-scientist.
Paul says he has a hood, so in his 3D printing lab, so it sucks out the fumes. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a good thing. It's just venting it out into the world,
so everybody else can breathe it.
It's not like direct contact.
Not my problem. Kick that can down the road.
Oh, believe me, I think that every time Travis cuts acrylic in the garage and he's piping it out in the neighborhood, I'm like, oh my god.
Like kids riding their bikes down the street.
It is a little. Don't you find it a little bit concerning though? All the dead birds you're finding in front of your house.
No, but our flower plant, our rose bush, is dying.
Is it really?
I think that's just not watering.
If you don't water it,
it's pretty gross. Anyway, let's continue.
You see double prints if you use it in a confined space, then shortly after it starts multiplying, you'll only see black. Fantastic.
It's like, what's that Robin Williams movie, the Disney movie where the stuff multiplies? Glue?
Flubber?
Flubber! It's like that. No,
as long as kids don't start eating gloop like Tide Pods.
Oh my gosh. Okay,
The
let's
Gloop Challenge?
continue.
Yeah, the gloop
Oh,
challenge.
No, this is terrible.
We're digressing.
Let's go on. We're digressing. Okay,
Ozone depletion.
so now we're going to talk about Chris Lane, who is in the chat, and the Venturi 3D Kickstarter, which is starting soon.
Okay, I know nothing about this, so go
Yeah.
ahead.
So I talked to Chris actually for quite a bit at ERRF, and he was showing off the Venturi. He was razzing me last week when we were announcing the rep box, which we'll get to in a minute as well. That he already has a enclosure for his filaments and they're inside of his printer. And actually, to Chris's credit, it was a cool design. I enjoyed it. He's obviously put a lot of work and effort into the design, and he had told me about the enhancements that he's making and stuff like that. Now I can't remember though. Is he saying is he kickstarting this or is he just space funding himself?
So the Kickstarter starts July.
He hasn't started the Kickstarter yet.
This is just
22nd.
Yeah.
I want to say.
But it's a it's the only fully enclosed pre-built 4-color printer that prints ABS, PETG, nylon materials, NPLA, exotics like carbon fiber and stuff.
I mean, that sounds awesome.
It does. I didn't get a chance to actually see it operating. I just kind of got to open the stuff. But one of the things that I thought was neat, and I don't know if it's unique, but what I do remember about it was he had. So I want to say I'm pretty sure it's duet powered. So he's got a decent sized touch panel on it, and above the touch panel was a camera.
Okay.
And I was like, "What's the camera for?" Because I hadn't seen that, and first of all, I'm like, "What are you video chatting?"
With your
And he
printer.
goes, "No, you know what it's for? Is it allows you." So he's got a pre-built database.
Yeah,
That's
there's
built
1,000
into
prints.
it that has 1,000 different print models,
Okay.
and you can manipulate them directly on the printer to print at different sizes and infills and stuff like that. So. And they're pre-programmed based on which kind of filaments that you're using. And so the camera was designed to be tied to his database that would take pictures of a QR code on your filament spool so that it knew you basically hold up your filament spool with your QR code on it and it would say, oh, that's that's Repcord Purple Haze or that's Matter Hackers Build Series or whatever it is. And then it's pre-tuning itself to print with the specific material.
So it has the profiles, the slicer
Correct.
profiles. Oh,
Correct.
that's pretty snazzy.
I think was a great idea because anybody that's been doing this for a while knows that no two materials necessarily prints the same. No two filaments, but certainly no two different materials. Like printing in PETG versus PLA, things have different extrusion multipliers and stuff like that.
Okay,
and so
yeah,
to try to take those on himself, is he on the chat?
Yeah, he's in the
duet
chat. So he
powered.
said the Kickstarter is going to start around July 10th. And it is $999 or $999 for the first 50 backers.
It's pretty cheap.
1,000 for a 4-color.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, and then it has 1,000 models already pre-programmed into the printer. So
Chris, can you remind me too? So the extruder assembly on it. So he says it's 4-color, but I don't remember if it was a quad head or a 4-in, 1-out. I think it was a multi-in, 1-out. The way that multi-material works.
So more like a pallet than a MMU.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Fuses stuff. So.
Oh, the pallet.
It's not like the pallet.
Right.
It's not splicing.
I don't see anything.
I think it's a multi. I think it had purge blocks, so I'm fairly certain it's the way that the original Prusa menu does a purge. But it's not a mixer. It's not a mixer the way that the M3D is supposed to be. Yeah, exactly.
So he said it's 4-color to 1, similar to the Prusa MMU 1.0.
Yeah.
And Walter's saying he did an interview on his channel. If people want to know more.
Oh yeah, go check out Country 3D if you want to see more about this. I'm gonna go look at that myself. I apologize, Chris, that I didn't spend more time writing down all the details, but I got most of it. I think I did pretty well. From memory.
Yes.
Definitely seems like pretty awesome for the price. I mean, if you're getting Prusa and the MMU unit, it's it gets up there, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Like 700 plus the Prusa.
Absolutely.
Yeah, even the pallet's $800, so that's the printer by itself right there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris says that you're calculating how many rep boxes you have to sell to get one. Very true. No.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So what was the next one? Oh, so Keith was sharing Slice Engineering's mosquito hot end, and I think we kind of talked about we want to know more.
This was another. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this in the new want to know more column.
Yeah.
I'm mad that I didn't see. This is just like there was so much cool stuff going on at ERRF that I just like I'm only hearing about now, and I was there.
Yeah.
For the last 3 to 4 days, and but Slice Engineering was. I remember going past on the way to the concession stand. They have the nice little orange Slice logo, but apparently they've got this mosquito hot end, and I have not read up on it enough to speak intelligently enough, but I know Brandon Langdon has taken a look, and obviously Tinkers Keith recommended this, so perhaps in the chat they can chime in. But the gist of it is they have this tiny mosquito hot end, and I know that it's some pretty it's made of some pretty sweet materials. I think it gets up to 450 degrees Celsius, so you can extrude some pretty exotic stuff, and it's a rather compact package. But what's supposed to be really cool about it is the thermals on it. The heat break is supposedly cool enough to touch while it's printing. So that means that it does a phenomenal job of keeping the heat where it needs to be in the hot end. And then I don't remember them. I want to say it was a copper hybrid of some kind in the heat break or something where the thermal. No, I got that backwards, I think. But anyway, the thermal transfer is supposedly phenomenal on it. Let's see. Van Full of Puppies says the Mosquitoes is going to be on his next build.
They're asking if it's smaller than the
It
A3D
certainly
V6.
would seem so.
It's
I mean, unless that guy has
tiny.
really tiny hands, that's absolutely
that's
smaller than
small.
a V6. You can mount the hot end with PLA. That's sweet. Okay, because you can't do that with a V6. At least not the standard one. It still gets too hot. It'll make the mount too soft.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's some pretty cool engineering there, guys. Definitely would like to follow up on this and see more. Look at that. I mean, that's a pretty cool design. I'm looking like the way their heat block, good audio. So interesting setup for their thermistor and their heater cartridge. That's a massive slot. But I mean, again, it's probably not massive. That's probably a normal size heater cartridge. But this whole thing is so tiny. Yeah. It's just like the McDLT, says Chris. Keeps the hot side hot, keeps the cold side cold. You should be on their marketing team.
Yeah,
Krusty.
Jeez.
It uses an M6 nozzle like the E3D. Okay, so that's good. I like that standard. More than one for extruder feed rates. I don't know what that question is, Ron. Heatsink, flat. So there's a lot of people kind of a regular and a Magnum. Yeah.
Yeah, it's basically just super teeny, right? That's like the whole big thing.
Yeah, it's called the Mosquito.
Well,
I'd be curious. What's the price point on it, guys? What are they asking for?
I haven't seen anything.
I didn't see pricing.
No.
I mean, if Nick wants to put it on his next build, is it just going to be? I know it's less than $500.
I would hope
I know
so.
that because $500 was the exotic one that Brandon and the Slice 3D were spitballing earlier. Wow, that's a nice
Nick
website.
says that the Magnum is set up to push more material similar to a volcano.
But they don't want to call it a. I like their choice of words there. The Magnum evokes some great stuff. $149. Okay.
Oh, okay.
So reasonable, you know. Well, I don't know. That's relative.
That's for the regular.
Yeah. Their thermals, though, and this is where Tinkers was saying he was a little not sure if he could be skeptical because he said thermals can be manipulated. I don't know. I mean, I don't see why. I do remember him saying that they ended up painting the whole thing black because that was actually going to get a better view from the thermals, or a more accurate view of where the heat concentration was. That was a recommendation from Tom Sandlander that they took under consideration. Pre-order is $129. And another 60
for the heater,
60%, probably just $60.
$60, yeah.
Yeah, 149 to 179. I'm sounding like Bob Barker. Come on down.
Oh, jeez.
$1. $1. Do we have $1?
And then have a 3D glue tug of war.
Yeah, right.
Oh, don't.
They had live thermals going on at ERRF. I think everybody needs to go check out Country's channel. Wait, did Country said he did an interview with them?
No, he did an interview with Venturi.
Sorry. Awesome. Country, where were you on this one, buddy? Come on, man.
And why are you showing the Gloop video?
Just because it was on the Slice.
Oh, yeah. That was the thing I was telling you about, where they were tug of war.
You know what? I think they were right next door to
Slice. To that booth. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Moving on.
All right, moving on. We've got IC3D Adventure shared multiple tool heads on one machine. Now, click on this. I can't remember what exactly, what printer. But he's putting multiple. I want this in the want to know more because he had put multiple print heads on a printer, but I didn't see like how it worked.
Was it a Prusa?
I didn't see if it like switches them or it. Or if you switch them.
I apologize. I have not actually seen this one yet, so I'm seeing it for the first time here.
I didn't understand like how it worked.
Yeah, if we're a little bit behind, it's because we were at ERRF and we didn't get the chance to look at a lot of this.
I know, and I'm sorry. I didn't fully watch all these videos, unfortunately.
Go through here real quick and see if I can see.
Oh, okay. Sean's saying that it's a printer bot that he put it on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we should put this in the want to know more because I want to look at it.
Yeah, maybe rather than
closely.
spend time on it now, let's do a follow up on this and stuff. I'm intrigued. I like watching things being built and multiple customizations. Very cool. Looks like he's got some good commentary on there. All right.
So we'll look at that one later. We'll look
File
at
it or the need to know more.
Okay, we'll do so. Next, we've got K9 sharing his electronics for an e-bike project. So I was intrigued by this because it insanely looked like a bomb, and I asked him, I was like, what exactly are you using this for, K9? This is a little creepy looking. But I guess he's doing an e-bike, and then he's also going to be using it for charging drone batteries. Like it's a remote control system to charge batteries.
Oh.
I really wanted to add this too, just to showcase that Community Ketchup is not only about 3D printing. We'd love to see all kinds of makes. So this is a project I think we're going to kind of continue on along to see the electronics building on this one.
Definitely.
Very cool. Actually, there's a spot in my heart for e-bikes. I've done some interesting... I haven't built a proper e-bike yet, but I did like my son has a electric quad that I did a full upgrade on the controller system, and I've tinkered around with putting batteries, doing lithium replacements,
like
on
upgrades
stuff
on
and
it.
stuff. So I love that. And my next hope for something like this is I have a little golf cart that I
your golf cart.
around, and I want to upgrade that because it's kind of a dog on the hills.
Yeah.
And so I think that'd be a good upgrade. But the part of the challenge with these things is like lithiums require different charging, and you want to keep all the cells balanced, and a lot of the electronics for this aren't like totally. A lot of these builds are very customized, and so it's not like you can just grab an off-the-shelf component a lot of the time. So you start to see stuff like this.
Chris says that this is what Mitch needs for his backpack printer.
Yeah,
He needs a hardier battery system.
Battery system.
I feel like it would burn him or something. It doesn't seem like something you'd want to have against your skin.
Yeah, I mean, if you just take some time to understand how to do it safely, it's not terrible. But I mean, it's like anything. If you're not doing it right, lithium batteries, they can burn up pretty quick if you pierce them. Oh
man, yeah, that's scary. All right, so we'll follow up with this project too. I want to keep seeing it progressing.
Cool.
So next we've got Brandon Langdon shared AstroPrint 3D's aging techniques. So this was a cool thing I saw. I hadn't seen this before. Aging PLA with, I can't remember. It's like vinegar,
iron
powder, and it rusts it. Oh, it's crazy looking.
Awesome. Yeah, so it's a rust accelerant technique.
It looks like a freaking original, like an old school gun. Like,
like they found it, dug it up from somewhere.
Is that one of the
antique?
What was it, like from Fallout? They had like a bunch of those like cobbled together Andrew Sink did that one that was like a piece of wood with like the nail and stuff. And
nice.
Anyway, the weathering. See again, like Pooch doesn't do post processing and stuff. But
yeah, but this you just like dunk it in there.
Well,
right?
see, I can get behind that. I can do dunking.
It on or
I can do
spray
spraying.
It on. Yeah.
You have no idea. You're just like, you just dunk it in there.
Yeah, that.
Put it in a bucket.
Just throw some vinegar on it. Some for my fry. Does it work with malt vinegar or does it have to be like white? Yeah.
Oh, gross. Anyway, I thought that was pretty cool.
It is awesome.
Look at that,
like,
man. Look at the cylinder on this. Okay, so it looks like he just did kind of just a standard PLA.
Yeah.
And then...
I love learning any techniques like
yeah,
this.
seriously. Especially something cool like that if you're making like an aged piece
here's
or
the
antique
progression. Okay, so he threw that on
piece.
his Ultimaker. And then what's he got going on there? It looks like he like kind of made it look like a faux weld.
Yeah.
With a Dremel, so he did some friction welding, which is a really cool technique.
Oh, Sean's saying he has used this technique as well.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Two-part liquid. Wow,
all
look at
kinds of
that.
stuff. Okay, he sprayed it down with some, like I use these paints all the time, like the chrome and
Yeah.
So he
And
sprayed
then-
it and then did the...
And then some iron resin and oxidation solution on it during the night. So it's really an overnight thing. Wow,
okay.
man, that really puts a...
Wow, that's
Is that a patina?
crazy.
Does it put a patina
It
on
just
it?
looks so real. It makes
Yeah,
it
it's
look so...
just crazy how much it looks like.
Right.
Oh, Mitch did it for his Fallout 4 Nuka-Cola PC.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Iron
yeah,
paint.
yeah.
A lot
Nuka-Cola.
of Fallout stuff.
Nice.
It just like screams Fallout.
Works great, but it smells
Smells terrible.
Yeah, that's
No.
like so many things in this space.
Yes, for sure. Gross.
Yeah. So
Very
who
gross.
knows? We're all gonna die young of random cancers. I'm
but
sure.
we'll have
dude.
made amazing
But we're gonna have
stuff.
awesome
We'll turn
looking
into
things on our
mutants
shelves.
or something.
Exactly.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
a better
Better outlook.
Better
Yes,
outlook that we're gonna
exactly.
be mutants. All right, moving
Oh my
on.
gosh.
We Heather, I'm thinking maybe let's see, 'cause this is long. I don't know that we're gonna be able to.
Oh, yeah, I know.
hit
We
all
got
these,
so
and we
many.
still have to talk about ERRF a little bit.
Okay.
So how about this? Where are we? We've got 1, 2, 3.
Well, the next couple are pretty quick.
Okay.
You want me to
Okay.
just talk
All right.
about
You know
them
what?
real
Let's
quick?
fight. You know what? If people have to go, they can go, and this
Yeah.
will just be a longer one. That's fine.
Okay. So
Yeah.
real quick, Print It shared Evan and Caitlin's rolling 3D printer cart. So
Oh,
they had their
yes.
printers were kind of
Pull it up.
were piling up in their guest bedroom, and so they decided to design and make a printer cart to put them on.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a big
It's
fan.
very
of-
heavy duty.
of
They were like standing on
organizational-
it and stuff. Yeah, it was
This is like
pretty
on
crazy.
wheels.
Yeah, so
like-
yeah, I've
Yeah.
talked to Evan and Caitlin at New York and at Murph, and I have much faith in their engineering and design abilities. I would trust that anything that Giant Evan is gonna design, he is gonna over-engineer so that it can be stood upon. I feel like anything that's worth building, the way to test it is like, will it hold?
Stand on it.
Will it hold?
Will
me?
it hold both of us? There
That's
we
a
go.
good standard to go. And yeah, will it hold both of them? Yeah. But anyway, like I said, I'm a big fan of organizational things, even though you wouldn't guess it by looking at my office right now.
Yeah, true
But
story.
that's kind of why how the rep box came into existence.
exactly.
How my closet project came into existence and stuff. And so the more you get into this, the more you start to deal with things like, how do I store this printer, and what's the best way to feed it with filaments and stuff like that. And it looks like they did full-blown extrusions. That certainly couldn't have been an inexpensive build, guys, if they're using an aluminum extrusion on that. But I don't doubt that it's incredibly solid.
Yeah,
And it's on
for sure.
casters. I remember when they were teasing this on Twitter like a week or two back, and I was giving them a hard time saying like, well, I see it has wheels, so hopefully it doesn't, become self-aware and
Roll
rise up
away.
against you
Yes.
and start
Yes.
attacking you. So this is what they were obviously building then. So it's all coming together now. So they got their Taz on there. They've got a Moai.
Nice.
They've got their Carvey up top. So it's a mixed mode. Oh, there's Evan. He's so happy. And then, man, wow,
Yeah,
look at
nice.
that. And there's room. Look at all that room.
Oh, see, look, you could have the
before,
office looking like
after,
that.
Oh, so
before,
fancy.
before and afters.
Oh.
You know what? They're like the what's that show on?
They're like
on
on
home? It's like
TLC.
the Joanna
Yes, I
Gaines
know.
of 3D printing.
They just need to be on
The-
TLC.
They will be on TLC.
I
Have they
know.
not
I
been on
think so, too.
TLC
I
yet?
know.
They're on every
I
other
don't know
damn
how
thing.
they have it.
Look at that. It even fits in there nicely. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, very cool,
Very
guys.
nice.
Very cool. So if you need to build an organization system, that's a neat setup.
All right, so next we have You Do It Shared, Medic Vince's. He's making lithophane for firefighters, police, medic, etc. What the cool thing is he's doing them in the shape of like that specific division's
Yeah, lithophanes are just
badge,
awesome.
or and then putting the person's photo in it. So it's
So it's like a firefighter badge.
Yeah, so it's like a
with the
firefighter badge, and then
in
it has a photo of the firefighter. And I just think stuff like this is so cool, especially when, you know, for like a gift or to honor somebody, especially our, you know, police and medics and firefighters and stuff like that. It's just such a cool thing, you know, it's such a neat idea. And he said he's going to be doing a video, I think, on it. It took him a while to figure out how to do the shape of the design, and then to be able to put the photo on it and have it all work. But yeah, it just is a cool
lithophanes I think use the similar technique as that braille technique
system,
that I was saying earlier, where they actually print on the Z, so you can get nice sharp lines on it.
Yeah,
so that's another interesting application where you might not think to print vertically.
Yeah, so it's just a cool thing, you know, to share out in the community,
Very cool.
especially with people that don't know about 3D printing, you know, or aren't versed as we all are, to show them something like that, and then also be honoring them at the same time. So that's very cool.
Paul's saying he thinks he needs a Moai. He's seeing the Moai.
Oh, I know.
You've got a Moai. You get a Moai. You get a Moai. Yeah, well, if any true chemist should obviously be dealing with
the
with
Moai is awesome, Paul.
Yeah, it opens up all kinds of different possibilities. Very cool, Medic Vince. Really like seeing stuff like that. Very nice application.
All right, Jeff Slater shared Carmelo's cast glove.
Oh yes, Carmelo and his silicone hands.
Yeah, so he printed his hand.
Oh, you didn't see the finished project? He was going nuts on his silicone thing, and
he printed the cast for it, but it was a little bit small, so he put it on, and I didn't realize it was a glove, because I thought he was just doing a whole arm, but he actually did it as a glove, and he put it on, but it was too small, and he broke it already, so he has to make some tweaks to fix it.
I was teasing him that I wanted one to fill with silly putty, so I could just high five it at any time I wanted, because it was like a hand.
To high five yourself?
Yeah, no, high five him. You know, it was like the Carmelo hand.
Got you, because it's Carmelo's hand.
He was responding with perverted responses.
Oh,
it sounds like Carmelo
would. It does sound like Carmelo, right? But very cool, and also a great. It's not a non-3D printing application, because I know he used it to cast. He did some 3D printing to create the casts to the silicone.
But it's neat to use it that way.
With the resins and the silicones and stuff for a long time.
Yeah, and I think he was busy on this probably too while we were at ERRF. He was supposed to go to ERRF, and unfortunately he didn't have a chance because he's been taking care of his dad. So hopefully things are going better there for you, buddy. And we hope to see you. Hope to see you soon. But that looks like it came out really cool, and yeah,
it was neat. I can't wait to see the updated version. That's gonna.
I wonder if he got some sponsorship by Smooth On, because I know.
Happier with.
I know he's been doing a lot.
Yeah, he uses their stuff all the time.
Yeah, he does use that stuff all the time.
Very cool. Nice work, Mello, and thank you for sharing that.
Next, we've got Danska sharing James Print and Place 3D printer, and now this was at ERRF. This is a printer. Just kind of a shout out to something that he had talked about it before. His printer that he designed and built.
Oh yeah,
that James built.
Yeah.
Yes, so James built it. I think it was overshadowed by his arcade.
His arcade cabinets. It probably was. Yeah.
So, the flashiness versus.
Yes, it was like,
print, they don't know to ask.
It's so awesome.
I know he's very proud of it too.
No,
so it's unfortunate that he didn't James said, I don't think he's in here right now, but I hope he said he was sick earlier today. I hope he's feeling better.
Yeah.
But I thought he said somebody interviewed him about the printer itself.
Oh, okay,
so
good.
I think there might be some video out there on the build, and hopefully we can follow up on that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And then the next couple, just real quick, Mitch shared there was a small printer bot at ERRF. It was like a little, it was laser cut wood,
the baby
right?
printer bot, yeah.
It was super tiny.
Yeah, that was over at the Art3D guy's booth, or right by it. I think it was theirs.
It was so teeny and cute.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it.
I love how they have the quarters and all this stuff on here.
Maybe this is a different one that I saw. It had a different style, but anyway, yeah.
I want to see like
it's like a mini of the simple.
Yeah, you can actually see the size because of the change right here. It's not a banana for scale; it's actual change.
Nice.
Yeah, that's tiny.
It's so tiny.
That's tiny.
Oh yes, they're saying that James, that was his first interview, was about his printer.
Oh yeah,
and they did do it. Yeah, and he was really excited that they were talking to him about his printer. That's
I
really
wanna see that.
Yeah,
interview.
we need to see that. So
he
we'll
says
follow
he
up with
interviews
that.
horrible, and I was like, yeah, I have 2 interviews.
Oh, you guys could bond over that.
I have one from Joel and one from Matter Hackers that have never
Never
been released.
They're in the archives forever.
They're in the archives.
Forever.
Oh.
It's all right, it takes some practice. It's not easy to speak. It's intimidating sometimes.
All right, next we've got Sean Shenanigans / Art Mods was sharing photos of his new printer space. He's asking for some tips or advice or just anything that anyone's got to say about his space.
Get one of those rolling racks.
Yeah,
like
apparently you need to talk to Evan and Caitlin and get a rack like they have.
Yeah.
I love
I like the brick.
Any ideas?
I totally thought that was real brick at first, but it's actually just a fake thing he told me about. It's like
you can get that paneling.
Yeah.
In fact, Home Depot's been really stocking up on all these different faux panelings and stuff. The booth that we had at ERRF, we used this like kind of fake beech wood.
Yeah.
That was that kind of paneling.
Yeah.
They had that brick and like Midnight Giants booth had some really cool, brick looking paneling that was like that too. It was a little different though.
And so if you have any ideas or thoughts for Sean, send them his way.
Yeah, man, you need to get a couple of rep boxes up on the wall there, that's for sure.
Right?
Low hanging fruit.
I made this sign for him right there.
Yeah, is that steel?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good, man.
It's a little blurry.
Very cool.
picture.
It was dark, he said. It was dark. And then
it's like a cave is 3D printing.
3D printing cave. All right. Oh yeah, his best tip for Sean: more unicorn, less dungeon.
Good advice from
like
Chris.
That is good advice.
Who comes at you live from his garage?
Where's
your unicorns, Chris? Call him the kettle black there. I think.
Oh yes, J.R. Slater says more pink.
More pink.
Yes, I like it. I concur.
Sean says he needs a unicorn. Yeah.
All right, so last on the main show, we've got Print It was sharing 3D Printex Trash Walker. Now, this was an iteration of Fernando's walker.
I met Fernando.
That we saw.
Man, he is a cool dude.
So now it has it's got a trash, it's like a little trash can.
I love
it.
So cute.
Yeah,
It's
awesome.
just what I want, like trash cans running about.
Yeah, I was like, does it have like Arduino in it?
Man.
You throw your trash and it just comes and
It
catches
just
it.
goes. Yeah. Oh, you'd run up and catch it?
Yeah.
And then it would probably just like run and dump it in my bed.
Or just tumble over and spill all the other trash.
Yes, that would be
kids
amazing.
would want to ride in it.
That's the next iteration I need to
Very
see.
cool,
Everyone,
I like it.
Is it needs to have electronics in it.
Is
okay?
is it a pencil holder?
No,
could it be
a trash can.
Could it be a can koozie?
Maybe. That would be kind of awkward to hold though. With
Could
the
it be a
legs,
spittoon?
Right? Gross.
It could be anything that you want.
It could be anything you want it to be.
Could it? Okay.
I guess.
Right,
oh,
good.
jeez. Okay, so that was our main show. So now, Pooch, you go first. What do you want to talk about?
Oh man, well again, I gotta talk about ERRF because man, it was just off the chain.
It's crazy.
No, we had such an amazing time at ERRF. The East Coast, the inaugural East Coast Rep Rap Festival. First of all, huge shout out to the organizers, Crispy, Vicky Soma, obviously Mr. Full of Puppies, Full of Something, A Buzz Designs, Lauren, our good friend Lauren, the whole panel. And if I'm forgetting you, I apologize. The whole team that came together to organize this thing, I think it surpassed everybody's expectations.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's got huge potential, just given that they were kind of mimicking Murph and that the attendance that had to begin with and stuff. I think that over the course of a couple years, if that, it could likely surpass it just because of its convenience and location.
Yeah, the location.
And the size of that particular facility, if they have it there again.
Versus Goshen, Indiana. That's
and don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, Murph is like the long-standing kind of mecca and is very cool and stuff. But you know, it was really neat to see a lot of the East Coasters that we didn't get to see there.
Yeah.
Of course, now it's like, why is there no West Coast one?
I know, that's what we need.
That's our job, right?
So,
Yeah, no, that's way too much.
I shouldn't have said that.
No,
because
after
now I'm gonna
talking
get
to
tasked.
them and their board for ERRF, I'm out.
It's so much work. It's so much work.
So much work.
Yeah. But anyway, they did a phenomenal job. You know, everybody kind of had a role. Nick was the voice of ERRF, which was actually really genius on their part, because then you just didn't have to look at him as much. He was,
he was behind the curtain.
He was behind the curtain making
like
his
Oz?
announcements.
I kept calling him that. The great and powerful Oz.
Pay no attention to the man
behind the curtain.
Yeah, but no, it was really cool. We had a good time. It was the first time that I'd had a booth anywhere. You know, I usually like to go to these things and walk around, and you know,
we did none of that.
We didn't get to do much of that, because you know, you're busy, you know, showing off your own stuff, and it was still cool. We still had a lot of people coming to us, and that was nice too. But obviously, I'm like looking at some of the stuff, and I'm like, man, I missed that. And I really would have liked to seen it. So that's hard. I think the lesson there is, like, you know, try to recruit a little bit more help so that you can kind of rotate through. And
well, we did have some help. We have to shout out the people. Like Lauren helped us a lot. She had her Prusa right there with the MMU on it, so we could show off the rep box a little bit.
We should probably talk. We've been kind of talking about the rep box, but here, give me that one.
It's a little baby one.
This is the baby box.
It's the baby.
Cute.
Oh, it's
so
cute.
Is that alright?
It's so cute.
Yeah. We'll talk about this in a second. But the rep box, does it look giant?
No, it doesn't.
No, it
well,
doesn't.
okay. So yesterday, Lauren, it was Monday.
Yeah. It was
Monday, Lauren and the Wizard showed off their rep box. And they were zoomed in so close, it made it look giant, and it's not really that giant. It's only 18 inches wide. Purposefully designed by our masterful designer here for a couple different practical reasons. One is because we're trying to tap into the ever-growing multi-material world, and so we wanted it to be able to hold at least 5 kilos for the upcoming MMU2 from Prusa. But the other big part of it is it's wall mountable, and we wanted it to be able to make sure you could hit 2 studs so that it was locked on a wall. So in the US, at least, studs are 16 on center. I don't know if that's a standard worldwide.
And you can just throw it up on the wall really easy.
Really easy. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to put a cleat, but show them. It's just a French cleat on the back, and nothing to write home about, but it works really well. And honestly, the thing is so lightweight, even when it's loaded and stuff anyway, that you really probably don't even need to be on 2 studs. You could do it with like a heavy-duty wall anchor. Anyway, so we announced this. We launched it at ERRF. We got a ton of amazing feedback from people. We got a bunch of pre-orders, so we're thankful to everybody that supported that. If it's something you're interested into, the website's going live this week, where we're going to be taking some more pre-orders and stuff. And we designed it intentionally to be somewhat modular. So this is kind of the base kit, but Travis has done an amazing job kind of sourcing some great graphics if you wanted some custom steel sublimated panels. So we use...
these are the R's on the side.
We use mixed medium. We have acrylic and MDF and steel, kind of a la the Ultimaker sandwich style, just to give it some rigidity and you make it a little bit more substantial and sturdy when it's being stacked. So stackable, wall mountable.
Yeah, Paul says
Paul's already got his on the wall, and he tweeted it, and we appreciate it. And he's printing out of it, and I hope it's running well for him. To answer the number one question that we got, it is not a dry box yet. We are well aware that people want that. Where we are here, it was designed with minimal holes. There are not standard nut traps in it, so. We designed it so that it would be generally very sealed, and it does decently well for us with just desiccant and stuff in it here. In the more humid environments, I think it needs a little bit more, and we are working on the seal kit for it. But it was designed to be modular so that these are upgrades you can get. Things like adding a lock for it. We got a lot of inquiries from makerspaces and libraries, just as an organizational thing so that it can actually be up there and they can lock up the filament for security purposes. And man, I'm sure there's just more that we're forgetting, but there'll be details on
just the way that the actual rollers work. They're made to where they're
they're mimicking the tush style if you've seen the 3D printing rollers, so that they're independently rotating and loadable, so it can be printing with one and swap out. We do have filament. Well, we can't take the sponsored filament, but there's a ton of filament, and we just didn't bring any right now. But like I said, it holds 5 full kilos and in a decently compact state, and it's modular. So anyway, we're excited to get this out. This is like our first foray in like actual product building, so there's been a lot of like learning curve along the way, but we've had a lot of support for the community. Like I said, I want to thank everybody who showed up and gave us their ideas and feedback, and it was just an awesome event.
They're asking about the price too.
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. So it's going to be a kit. It's $89.99. That's for all the material you need for 5 full kilos. The wall mount kit, the steel panels, and Bowden tube. We're just basically shipping it with like a meter's worth of tubing, and you can cut or arrange as you like. And then there's additional pneumatic connectors and Bowden tubing available if you need more. If you're feeding a whole bunch of deltas or whatever your application may be. As well as some other upgrades. We are happy to announce too, we're going to do an all acrylic version.
Yeah.
We got so much response from that. Do you have a picture of the acrylic?
That's what I was just getting right now.
Yeah. We actually put an acrylic version together just to kind of show off the inner workings of it and to be a little bit flashy at the show, but everybody's like, I want the acrylic version.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, geez, okay. We're trying to keep the pricing, accessible to most. So here's the full acrylic version. But everything from basically the rails to the rollers and stuff are all on acrylic. And this version we actually did wood, but I think the final production will actually have an acrylic wall mount and stuff too. So it's literally like clear through and through. Even the tubing that was coming out, we're using something called FEP, which is a clear tubing, which is cool. So for if you have a whole rainbow of filament,
People
it really
see their
shows.
filament.
Yeah,
Oh man, it shows so nicely.
Put some lighting in there.
Yeah. We actually, you can kind of tell. I kind of threw a little like battery LED thing in there, but it doesn't really show up on that. As well, but for somebody like Sean, who's running a dungeon, it's really dark,
some lighting,
and needs some lighting, that would be perfect. Show off your nice, sweet IC3D filaments in there,
Imagine
Sean.
like some red LEDs or some blue ones under there would just look friggin'
Oh
awesome.
yeah. I wish we'd had a little bit more time to work on that piece, but anyway, we had a lot of response for that, so we're going to do an acrylic version too. That one's a bit more expensive because acrylic is more pricey, as I'm sure you're all aware. That one's going to be $139, but that'll all be available, like I said, on the website at the end of the week. Of course, we're going to be tweeting it out, and you'll hear about it, and then we'll be talking about the accessories and the kits as those are released too. So we're really thankful that everybody's been talking it up. And for those that showed up, I know Graybeard's in the chat. He picked up one of the beta units, which was nice, so we didn't have to fly a bunch of these home. And had a lot of good feedback for us too.
Did you set up the info@Ripcord email?
Yeah, that is an email. You can send email to info@repcord.com.
Just because
if you
people have custom requests, they're wondering about colored acrylic. I'm just telling them all to send if they have a question. Inquiries,
yes. Info@Repcord, or you can just send it direct to me too. Pooch at Repcord is fine too. Chris had, can we do custom sizes? Could you do it like a 48?
Yeah.
These are all things that are certainly possible. If you notice, like the way that it's designed is the side panels really hold the whole thing together. It's 6 screws. It goes together in like 5 minutes or less.
Come on, I mean, we designed these as makers, so we're gonna have revisions. There's gonna be more stuff added later. I'm sure we'll keep revising it as we go along.
There's no limitation on it, Chris. Really, the rails are what support the rollers inside, are really the structural component. So there's no reason we couldn't cut longer panels. 48 inches is pretty long.
Well, you'd have to have stuff in the middle. You'd have to have walls or something in the middle.
Well, yeah, and I was going to say at some point it may be practical just to get another box.
Separate ones, and put them next to each other.
Yeah. And they are designed to nest together next to each other. That's why we didn't, put handles on the side. So there's a lot of
we put a lot of thought
into the design, and there's some subtlety to it that you might not think. But Travis and I both spent a lot of time working on the development of it, and we're excited to see how it does. No. So anyway, that's enough pitching of the
Yes.
the rep box. I would just say though that ERRF in general was an amazing experience.
That was our whole ERRF experience
Yeah.
talking about.
Well, I mean that was our ERRF experience.
Yeah, that's all you did at
Yeah.
ERRF.
Yeah,
We did see some other awesome stuff, but I mean,
Yeah.
ERRF to me is all about just seeing all the, like any of those conventions really, is all about seeing the people that come to them and just like talking to people that you wouldn't normally talk to and just meeting people that you've been talking to forever online. It's just like an amazing like thing to do.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is, and like I'm just amazed at like how many people approached me and like were just so friendly and wanted to share what they were doing and just
exactly.
brought around their stuff. There was some really cool props that people were printing and bringing and showing off.
Yeah, that was one big thing I noticed of doing running a booth versus just walking around a convention like that. I had so many more people come to talk to me because they were interested in my product or in the products that we're doing. But then we would just start talking about random other rep
Right.
stuff.
What are you
and,
printing?
yeah,
What kind of
Yeah.
printers do you have?
What
I mean,
kind of
it's
stuff are
very,
you running?
very, very approachable.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Subtle features. Never.
Is it
yeah,
Master
subtle
Spool
features.
compatible?
I'm glad you asked that. So yes, it is Master Spool compatible, and in fact, we've had some discussion around are they Protopasta cardboard spool compatible?
We have not tested that.
And but the solution we're proposing is use the Master Spool modification for the Protopasta.
Pasta, Alex actually told me himself that you can actually rip the cardboard off and put the master spool on a Protopasta spool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So. Yes, I don't have the physical dimensions actually of the master spool.
No.
So it's kind of designed with the more traditional 8-inch diameter flange for filament spools, but it will take stuff up to like 9. 10 is probably pushing it. But certainly there's also the Rhino reel. So if you're talking about trying to put on, sample coils or something like that, there's plenty of options. Anything that has a spool, it'll work on, and it's not to say that we can't develop other, adapters and stuff down the road too. Yeah. I think there was a lot of other questions too. But I don't know
No,
if we
you're
can get to
fine.
them
I've
all.
been fielding them. You're okay.
Okay.
So yeah, that was what you wanted to talk about. What else did you want to talk about?
The other thing, I'd be remiss if I didn't. I don't think he's in the chat, but Jeff DeRusso from DeRusso Design. Oh, I didn't talk about the mini box too, but I'll do that in a second. Where's my starter kit? I thought I brought it up here.
No, it's downstairs.
I left it downstairs. You know what? I'm gonna save that for next time
Yeah, something.
because that's kind of a whole nother thing. But he helped me with the design on some of the tool handles for the flush cutters and the ball driver set and stuff that I'm selling in the starter kit, and it came out awesome.
All right, Chris. Talk to you later, man.
We got 2 Chris's leaving.
Chris,
We have a lack of Chris's.
we're going
in the
too
chat.
long, man.
I know,
It
it's
must
too
be.
long. It's too long. All right.
This is what happens.
Yeah.
But
It was a crazy couple weeks.
it was.
Well, we have so much stuff. I know. So again,
we really did have a lot of stuff, and we didn't even get to touch on all of it.
No, so yeah, be sure to check out. There's so many additional links in the description. Some shout outs of other things that we saw. There's a bunch in the news, so more mainstream news information regarding like 3D printing in the news, using it in the medical field, and some other really interesting articles that I checked out and that were recommended. So be sure to check that stuff out.
And to be clear, that stuff is really cool, and we love that you guys send it to us.
And
we
keep
might
doing
not
that,
always
yeah.
please keep doing it. We might not always touch on it because we really try to get as much time devoted to the community as possible. But we all enjoy 3D printing, and more information is always better than less, I think.
Oh yeah, there's so much cool stuff for sure.
What about you, man? Did you want to add anything about ERRF or any other projects you're working on?
No, I mean, we've been so consumed the last couple of weeks with the Red Box and ERRF and stuff that I haven't really been working on the projects. That anything that I talked about last Ketchup was the same projects that I'm working on now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, me as well. I just really quick to explain what this was that I flashed up here. This is actually the smaller 3D printable version that we're going to release on Thingiverse later, probably next week actually, just because we have to get our pre-orders out and stuff like that. But it's designed to be printable on a CR10 or a 300 by 300 or larger, and it's designed for the smaller splash spools or the 250-gram spools that I sell as part of my V-line kit. So I know a lot of you guys picked some of those up at ERRF. There, you can load this in. It'll be wall mountable, and the same thing. It is literally just kind of a miniaturized version. And we're going to sell, there is a lid that's printable. It's obviously not clear, but we will sell the acrylic panel if you just want to have like kind of a value kit and just have kind of a neat little display. It can be desktop or this, and it still has the same, you can still get, your Bowden tube and your connectors and stuff for that. So it's kind of more...
It's a baby box.
It's a baby box. It's an homage to the, rep rap world that we live in. We wanted something that was affordable and accessible to all.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. All right. So we're
ready. Are we pushing Heather's bedtime? We need to wrap up here.
No, we're not pushing my bedtime. We're pushing everybody else's bedtime. It seems like all the East Coasters.
So is it time to do the drawing?
The
reason people are here. Who will win?
Who will win? Okay, so we got. Wait, let me count really quick.
Let me show off what you're counting and setting that up. I'm going to show off these amazing filaments that IC3D contributed to us. So we got
red, white,
AVS, we got, and we're doing America this week because we got 4th of July coming up. So we're doing red, white, blue. The winner of tonight's giveaway for whoever tagged Community Ketchup. So if you want to get entered in the future for this, and just tag Community Ketchup on some community-related article or thing you come across, will be the proud recipient of 3 full kilos of IC3D filament. We have ABS, we have PLA, and their new PETG line here as well. So you get a good sampling of all the cool stuff they have to offer. This is good stuff, guys. I think you're going to like it. I know you're going to like it.
And then they also get their handheld ketchup on.
And of course, you get your...
ketchup.
Yep, for
so we had
showing off your involvement with the community.
28 entrants.
28 entrants. Wow, we're just growing and growing.
Very nice. All right. So we got 28 entrants. Are you guys ready?
I think I'm ready.
Are you ready, Travis?
Okay.
Are we doing a drum roll?
Okay, we're drum rolling. We're going.
We need better audio for this. I'm going more official.
I know, more official drum rolling.
I need to
Our winner is David Shorey.
David Shorey!
Very nice.
Not rigged. He knows I talk about him a lot. David was actually kind enough to support us. He did a pre-order for us, and I'm really excited about that because he travels all these shows and wants one of the ones that can kind of show off the stuff inside. So that's going to be really cool. We may do a little custom setup for him because he's an awesome supporter. But hey, David, congrats! You win. You win, buddy. We're gonna we'll get in touch and get you your filament. Heather will send it to you. But wait, there's more.
What more?
No,
Divine says there's more. What?
They're delayed. They're talking about the ketchup bottle.
They're just
I forgot. We're on the delay.
Now they're congrats, David.
See, now everyone's excited.
There it is. I'm sorry, I'm behind. I forgot about the delay.
It's always
this was live. Are we live?
We're not live.
All right.
We're live 30 seconds ago. Live.
Yes, we were live 30 seconds ago.
Congrats,
cool.
David!
Yay!
Wow, David! Woo! Yes. Was he here earlier? I thought I saw him at some point. Maybe
I thought he was too, but he's got a lot going on.
He's a very busy guy. So, anyway, are we ready to wrap up? Any parting thoughts for the night?
I have nothing. I'm still exhausted from ERRF. So
I know. We just need to
go take a nap. I was gonna say a nap, but
a night nap.
A night nap.
Night naps.
Yeah.
Travis is gonna have
take a night nap too.
In the meantime, I'm gonna get back to cracking on making sure this website gets out.
Yeah, we gotta do that too.
Yeah. Well, no, I've been charging hard on it, but all these things. Like I'm a web. For those of you who don't know, I'm a web developer by day, and my own sites are like always the last ones that I work on. So, but we're motivated here because we've been getting just endless inquiries about like when can I order, and we're like.
About that.
Yeah. This week, I swear, this week we're on deadline. I'm on deadline. It's like 90% there. I just need to like load the SSL certificate so that everybody feels safe about giving me your credit card number.
Yes.
So he's gonna do the website, and I'm gonna do the tweaks on the box, and we're gonna get it done as fast as we can.
Yeah. No. And we're really excited about this, guys. So thank you so much for all the shout outs out there and all that. Thank you for watching tonight. Thank you to IC3D.
Yes.
For sponsoring us. We're really excited for some of the upcoming sponsors we've got as well. We're not going to tease it just yet because we don't have full confirmation. but we will as soon as we do. And until next time, thank you so much for joining in. Thank you for all your submissions. Please keep submitting.
Hashtag community ketchup.
Hashtag community ketchup.
Yep.
And we will see you guys out on the interwebs.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Pooch signing off.
Pyro.
Pyro. And DD Header.
Bye.
Kill it.